Hey, good evening. It's Thursday, January 23rd, and welcome back to Everyday Talk 24/7. We're going to talk about tonight a warning that Paul gives us in Romans 12. He urges us, don't be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This idea of being conformed is uppermost in Paul's mind. He's talking to the Romans there, again, Rome is a cosmopolitan city, not unlike our big cities. The leading thinkers and philosophers were there. They were builders, they were movers, they were shakers, powerful army. And so the Roman presence was everywhere. The glory of Rome was everywhere. And Paul is saying, don't be conformed to this pattern of thinking. We've got three ways that we can fall into this trap of being conformed. One is conformed to the way the media tells us to think. Two is to be conformed to the way entertainment tells us to think, wants to shape our thinking. And thirdly, how secular education wants us to conform to these areas. We're going to deal with one of those in each the next couple of nights, one per night, and then we'll spend a little bit of time about what it means to be transformed, to have our minds renewed. But don't be conformed to the way, the pattern of this world, and the way that the media tells you. See, the media doesn't talk about God. It doesn't describe the events of the day as events that are controlled by the greatness of God, by his purpose and character. It doesn't tell us that what's going on, the undercurrent behind all of what's happening, is so that we will see our need of Christ. Rather, the media will cause us to feel skepticism, doubt, worry. They're going to engage in what we call clickbait. They'll put a headline out there just so that you will listen to them. It may not have anything of substance at all, but it kind of gets your attention. You know, the senator said something important today, and they don't tell you what it is until you read the story or listen to the clip. The media tells us that life is about living on the edge, being worried, being anxious, because we don't know what's happening next. But we think we can control it. We think we can control it with elections. We think we can control it by watching something, by donating money to a certain cause. That's conformity. Media talks about the weather, leaves God out of the picture. God is the one who controls the weather. God is the one who deals with the storms, the firestorms, or the recent crazy cold weather we had right here in the South, the deep South, where we don't get snow, but we did. Seen pictures of on the beaches of Florida with snow right there on the beach. This isn't some freak meteorological event. This is God's doing. The media won't tell you that. The media will leave us in doubt in terms of elections. God is the one who places rulers in their positions of authority. Those are the things that he does. The media will tell us that when we go to bed tonight, everything is uncertain. So we have to tune back in tomorrow to find out what's really happening. Well, we've got to be informed, obviously. We need to know what's going on. But tomorrow, God will bring about his plan. The reason tomorrow exists is because God has more people he wants to save. We read about that in 2 Peter 3. I'm not going to give you a lot of quotes and verses tonight because I've talked about those so much on my channel already. But just, this is how we're conformed. The idea that life goes on because God hasn't not finished saving people yet. That's the real reason we have tomorrow. The media would scoff at that. say you're some kind of religious nut crazy person. We have been conformed to thinking that this book, the Bible, is something that is not for life. It's antiquated. It's old. The media tells us that. Other places do too. But we're shaped by people who are not invested in trying to know God. And that's really the question that you need to ask and think. This person that is talking to me on the other side of the screen, or in their video log, or in their streaming session, are they interested in finding out what God has said in His Word so that they can report accurately to us why things are happening? Way back in Genesis 12, we understand that God will bless those who have the faith that Abraham displayed, but He will curse those who oppose Him. That's the story that the media won't tell you. But that's how life is unfolding. That's what you want to grasp. So this first component we're talking about tonight, don't be conformed to the pattern of this world as the media describes the pattern of this world. Whether you get yours through broadcast news, network television, live streaming, blogs, podcasts, people like Joe Rogan and others who are tremendously, wildly popular. Take those things in, but then hold them up against the testimony of the Word of God. Don't be conformed. Be renewed. The media is not in the business of telling you how to be renewed. The media is in the business of helping you to be conformed. That, brothers and sisters, we must avoid that. We must not let our thoughts be taken captive by things that are not dependent upon Christ. Love your thoughts, your feedback. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the influence of entertainment in causing us to conform. Again, it's great to be here, and Lord willing, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Good night.